This is the all-new ID.4, Volkswagen's first mass-production, long-range electric vehicle, and that's a big deal for this company. But does it have what it takes to compete in a red-hot new segment? Let's take a closer look. To understand the ID.4, you have to understand where it came from, and that is the Volkswagen diesel emissions scandal. Now, the company knows they have a lot of work to do to rebuild their image from that, and this is how they're doing it. They're pivoting to be an all-electric maker, and they've started with this ID sub-brand, and the first car we're getting in North America is the ID.4. It's a very important car for Volkswagen because it's aimed at the most important segment right now, the mid-size electric crossover. That means it's going up against cars like the Tesla Model Y and the Ford Mustang Mach-E and Hyundai Ioniq 5. Very serious competition. And the ID.4 is the foundation of Volkswagen's greener future as an all-electric automaker. The ID.4 stands out by not standing out. Now, you know when electric vehicles first came out, they all looked like spaceships and science projects, and that was cool. They said, hey, it's the future, but the only people that bought them were people who wanted to drive spaceships and science projects. Now, though, we're going to a much wider audience, people who want a nice-looking car that also happens to have the benefits of being electric. And that's really what Volkswagen's going for here. And I think they've succeeded. But there are still those cues that say, hey, there's something special about this car. Like, there's this light bar that goes all the way across the front of the car and connects the headlights. This is very quickly becoming an EV signature. Now, you get a lot of these cues as you move around the side of the car if you know where to look for them, like the wheels here. They're 5-spoke wheels and they look like, you know, nice flashy wheels like you might get on another car, but they've actually filled in a lot of the space in between the spokes to improve aerodynamics and range. But what they've done is they've painted it black so that you just see the really kind of pretty, sexy part. The other thing you notice as you walk down the side of this car is that there's not a lot of chrome on this car. There's a little bit in the headlights, but this trim piece here that really pops, you know, separates the black roof from the blue body, this is painted silver. The roof racks, those are brushed metal, wheels are brushed metal. Even the Volkswagen logos on it, those were chrome for decades. Now they've gone with a new design that's all white. So it really kind of says we're doing something different here. You see when you get to the back, the light signature is the same. You've got this light bar that connects the taillights across the whole width of the back of the car, just like in the front. So you know what it is coming or going. Altogether, it's a really cohesive design, and really the only issue I have with it is a practical one. See, they've taken the charging port and they put it all the way over in the corner on the far side of the vehicle over there, which means that every time you get out of your car and you want to charge it, you have to walk all the way around the car to plug it in, when they could have just put it on this side where you'd be steps from the door that you got out of. But beyond that, this is a really sophisticated, nice-looking crossover that lets people know that it's electric and it's new without shoving it in your face. So this might be a little bit of a surprise, right? For as simple as Volkswagen kept things on the outside, the inside of the ID.4 is a lot more avant-garde, right? They really tried to make it look like the future in here. And this is very on brand for modern EVs. It's sleek and simple and minimalist. And it means you get some very cool things going on here, like this floating digital instrument cluster that moves with the steering wheel, or this twisty knob that's actually your gear shifter. It also means it's loaded up with technology. Got this 12-inch screen here, and even the standard screen is 10 inches, which is plenty big in a car like this. And there's an onboard digital assistant, like an Alexa, that you can talk to. And it responds to you both with voice and this flashing bar across the bottom of the windshield to give you some visual feedback. There are a few things that don't work, though. The touch-sensitive controls we find can be very hit or miss. You have to take your eyes off the road to use them. They don't always respond right. This gesture control works when it feels like it. But you also get the feeling in this car that all of the development money went into the powertrain and the technology and features, and it didn't leave a whole lot for everything else. Like, everything you touch in this car that's not the steering wheel is made out of plastic. There's no fancy materials in here. But at least they spent the money where it counts, right? This nice flat floor means I'm sitting nice and low and I have tons of headroom in here, lots of leg room and shoulders. Even in the second row, plenty of room and lots of cargo space in the back too. So as always with the ID.4, your money has gone towards the practical things, towards the EV powertrain, all the technology, plenty of space, but less so towards the experience. When we talk about EVs, what do we talk about? Performance, right? Ludicrous modes, crazy speed, but not everyone needs or wants a car that does 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. This is a family crossover, it's not a race car. So that's what Volkswagen is giving you here. The standard ID.4 is rear-wheel drive and has one electric motor, and it'll get you 201 horsepower and 229 pound-feet of torque. And that's very average. That's exactly what a car in this class normally gives you. In our testing, that will get you to 60 miles an hour in just 7.4 seconds, which is, again, great. That's what cars like this are supposed to do. Now, if you do need more power or more traction or both, you can get the all-wheel drive model. And that gets you a second electric motor in the front and a total of 302 horsepower, and that'll get you there a lot quicker. But also, this car is meant to get you all the places you need to go. And to that end, it has a range of up to 250 miles and the ability to use a public fast charger that will take this thing from just 5% battery all the way up to 80% in just 40 minutes. This is the whole idea of the ID.4. It's a car that gives you everything you need for picking up the kids, going to work, doing your errands, and nothing you don't. Now, official crash test scores for the ID.4 are not in yet, unfortunately. But we do know that it has a pretty comprehensive suite of active safety features called IQ Drive. And that includes features like lane keep assist and automatic emergency braking. So we think the scores will be pretty good. Where the ID.4 really stands out, though, is its pricing. A standard ID.4 starts at just over $41,000. And this one here, this special first edition model, it's only just over $45,000, which is great, except that you can't actually buy this first edition because they're all sold out. But either way, Volkswagen hasn't sold enough EVs yet, so they still qualify for that $7,500 federal tax rebate and any other state and local rebates you might get. So you can really get this car at a pretty competitive price, because think about the competition, right? The Ford Mustang Mach-E, a similar one costs nearly $49,000 before the tax rebate. And a Tesla Model Y long range, that's over $54,000, and they don't qualify for rebates anymore. So what Volkswagen has done here is come in with a really aggressive price to attract customers who are looking for a great EV but don't want to spend a ton of money. The one big thing you need to know about the ID.4 is that it's honest. It's not trying to be the flashiest or the fastest or the longest range. It's just trying to be a good car. In contrast to the rest of the segment, the ID.4 is just going for general competency and a really attractive price, and that's where it succeeds. See our vehicle rankings and the complete buyer's guide at motortrend.com/cars.